What's up, everyone? My name is Tyler. You're watching Mom's Basement MMA. And in this episode, I'm speaking with one of the top amateur flyweight prospects in the country. His name's Bryce Woerner, and he joins me ahead of his next fight that's happening at Combat Night for the amateur flyweight strap. Bryce, welcome back to the program. I'm excited that we could link up again, man.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here. Thank you. And I'm glad we could do it again. Every fight's a bigger fight, so it's perfect. Hopefully we can keep doing it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I look at you, man, and we talked about this the last time you were on the program. 2023, you had a bunch of fights, very, very active, and like you completely like reset the trajectory of your MMA career. I felt in 2023 because when you started off 1 and 2, probably not a lot of people talking about you, and then you just start hitting new levels. And it starts in 2022, and you had a very, very successful 2023, and you capped it all off by knocking out Ben Rainwater at Aries Fight Series back in December. A very, very impressive victory to have. And it is, what is it? The second knockout that you've had of your amateur career thus far against a top-notch guy. Ben had never lost before.
Yep.
And, you know, we talked about that fight. We knew how good he was. How did you set up that finish against Ben? Can you talk to me a little bit about that fight? Like, what is it that you remember having shared the cage with another top amateur flyweight such as yourself?
Right. Mainly I was just that whole camp. I wasn't really too focused on Ben. I knew he was good. I knew he was a stud wrestler, and I knew he's going to want to grapple me. I knew he's going to want to wrestle because that's how he's beat the 5 people before he fought me. He just out wrestled him. But like I said, I'm a wrestler too. I come from a wrestling background, so I knew he wasn't just going to bully me like he could all those other people. And when he can't bully me, when he can't wrestle me, dominate the wrestling like he wants to, then what has he got? That's the real question. So I knew that was going to happen. And I just that was like the fight that I kind of like started taking things a lot more serious, like inside the gym, even more so outside the gym. Like that's where the big changes happen, like really trying to treat this like a professional athlete. And I look back now to where I'm at now, and even I look back when I was training for Ben, it was like, dude, I beat that version up of myself easy now. So it's only progressing. And when the fight started, I just didn't really have too much of a game plan, really, other than like just fill him out and let him know that he's not going to bully me, and this is going to be a real fight. And as time went on, I just did my thing, and he just had nothing for me. Once he got me down like twice, but I got right back up, and he used a lot of energy on those takedowns. And once he realized he can't just bully me, he had nothing else for me. I just did my thing, let my strikes fly. I controlled it, but I kind of took it where he wanted it, in a sense of like I wasn't looking for the finish. I was just gonna let it come, and it came right to me. And all respect to Ben, dude, and Warrior. I love that dude. Like we're cool outside of the gym, but that night we were opponents, and that night I had to let him know who's a better competitor.
You are one of the top flyweight prospects in the country. Like in the country. You just turned 21 years old. You're brand new to this pretty much. Do you feel that like these expectations getting thrust upon you, and kind of like how are you managing that? Because like again, you're like one of the top 125-pound prospects in the country, and like that's kind of like a lot to kind of like grapple with, you know what I mean, like mentally. And I'm just kind of curious, like how do you stay grounded, and do you feel like there's like this like growing amount of like pressure and a spotlight that's being put on you really early on in your career because of the success that you've had?
Yeah, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. And I kind of, man, growing up, I knew I was different. Like I didn't know it would be fighting, thought it would be wrestling, but I knew I had that thing to where if I'm fighting or if I'm wrestling, even when I was wrestling before fighting, like I was the match you wanted to see. Like I just have that thing where I'm not trying to boast, but I can make it entertaining. Like it's to the spectator's eye, I can make it entertaining. And I'm really not trying to. It's just I embrace the moment. I embrace the crowd. I embrace everything. And as far as like the spotlight goes, I remember when I first got signed to Ruby, my first fight after getting signed to Ruby, and I felt all this pressure on me. I was like, dude, I gotta win this fight. I cannot lose this fight, no matter what. And I ended up winning, but it was like, in my opinion, one of my worst performances. I could have beat that kid a lot more handily than I did. And after that, I kind of learned to, like, I just embrace all the pressure. Like, I know I'm here for a reason, and I just embrace it, because I know that pressure, all the spotlights, all the pressure, that's what makes me have the best performances. Like, all the pressure. I'm around a lot of fighters. Like, I live and breathe this, and I really see that, like, fight week, fight day, that pressure gets to people. And I know how good fighters are, and then fight day comes around and they're not fully 100% when they fight because of what's up here. It's not even the fight or how good their opponent is. And what I've seen from that is they get in their own head and they're fighting it. And I don't fight it. I just let it be. I don't fight it. I just embrace all the pressure and know that it's going to fuel the fire. It's going to make me have the best performance. And I'm going to do the same thing August 3rd. I got a lot of pressure on me, but I really don't. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight my fight and use all that as fuel, really.
You fought 5 times in 2023. And now here we are. It's almost August in 2024, and you have yet to compete. And I know for a guy like you, being away from competition is not easy for you to do. I know you're the type of guy that would fight every weekend if it were possible. I know that about you. How hard has it been to just not be in the cage for 8 months? And does it take discipline to stay away for a little while?
It does take a lot of discipline, because, like I said, since like you said, since I started fighting, I haven't stopped. Like, it's been like every other month since I was 18. I've been fighting camp after camp. Always got my mind on what's next. And after Ben, it was like, I got this fight booked, doesn't play out. I got another fight booked, doesn't work. Got another one, and that by the third time, I was like, okay. And it did get hard, because I'm trying to stay in the gym, stay focused, and it's hard to when I ain't got a fight book. You know what I mean? It's hard, and I'm just thankful that Luis took this fight and he's game, and I like that he's confident in himself. I really do. I like that I'm gonna be in enemy territory. I like that they think they're bringing me in to lose. I like that I'm playing Team B or whatever. Like, I like all of that, and it's just gonna make the opportunity that much bigger for me.
And Bryce, that's actually a great question. Your opponent, his name is Luis Perez, and he is the #1 ranked flyweight for amateurs in the country. You are the 2nd ranked amateur flyweight in the country, right behind him. And that's very, very rare so early on to see a fight between 2 studs like this in the amateur ranks. Like, this is a pro level fight, and you both know that. Like, and you're going to be fighting for free. And I wanted to ask you, like, why take the fight? Like, obviously he's a dog. We know you're a dog. Like, what is it that you're looking to get out of this? Because obviously this is a pro level fight. You're not getting a purse for it. What kind of compelled you? Like, what's motivating you to take a fight against a very, very high level opponent such as yourself?
That's a really good question, and I have 2 answers. The first one is, like, I just want to fight the best people, and he's the best according to the rankings. And so I want to show that he's not the best. Like, I really think I'm the best, and I'm levels ahead of the competition here in America as amateur, honestly. And the second answer to that question is my manager had a really good point. He was like, y'all two are the best amateurs in the country. Like, it's really good that y'all are fighting, because you're not really going to lose anything. It's going to be great experience for both of y'all. And that's pretty much that. Like, shit, I'd fight him for free any day, but I just really like the fight, and it's just a fight that makes me really excited. I'm not underestimating him, and it's gonna be a good fight.
I know obviously Perez is really the only thing that's in the forefront of your mind. I know you can't really think anything past that, but the way I kind of look at it is, after Perez, nothing else would really make a whole lot of sense for you at the amateur ranks. Will this be your last amateur fight?
I think I don't want to say too, but I think so. So. Most likely, like you said, I don't want to go too far ahead of myself and start thinking what's after Perez. But if you ask me what the future holds, I'm gonna go beat Perez handily, and then I'm gonna go pro. and I'm still gonna take my time and not rush anything. But I feel like I'm getting to a different level now. And back to your other question with the 6-month layoff, it was hard to stay disciplined and all that, but I kind of had to learn that how to keep progressing when I don't have a fight booked, which was hard in the moment, but in hindsight, like it made me grow so much because I had 6 months to not train for a specific person just to get better. And yes, sir.
Who have been some of your main training partners for this fight camp for Perez? And then the second part of that question is, where do you feel your game has evolved the most since the Rainwater fight?
Alrighty. My main training partners, I got a bunch, but for this camp specifically, I've been training with Dedrick Sanders a lot. He's fighting for the PFL this weekend, or not this weekend. The day
Next
before
weekend?
my fight. Yeah, next weekend.
Yep.
Because he's a southpaw, and Luis is also a southpaw. So I've been training with him a lot. I've been training with Peyton Hayes a lot. He's also a southpaw. Kutu. Just so many good bodies in this gym, man. And a lot of them are young. You might not even know their names, but like we got something really cooking in this gym right now. It's not, we don't got a bunch of veterans. We got some veterans that are like battle tested great, but we have a really young team and we're all like pushing each other. And it's so, yeah, a lot. Kutu, Dedrick. I get a lot of work in with Zach Hicks, Nolan Hernandez, Ernesto. I can't pronounce his last name, but a lot of good bodies. And could you repeat the second question? Sorry.
As far as your game from when you fought Ben Rainwater to the Bryce Woerner that we're about to watch fight on August 3rd, how have you leveled up? Like, what's the biggest difference between your game from when we last saw you perform?
Composure, 100%. Just really, like I said, treating it like a professional in and out of the gym has made me like, I studied my game. I take film, I write, like I take this very seriously. Like I'm writing, I'm studying every single night. I'm writing down my goals, what I need to get better at. And I've been working just my overall game. But if I could say one thing, it'd be composure, taking my time, and really letting what's special about me come out in the right ways instead of trying to force it. Kind of just taking my time and letting my moment come, and when it does, season it.
Luis Perez, a very high level guy, just like you. He's had a ton of success. He has a 7-1 record. He is the Combat Night Amateur Flyweight Champion. An impressive resume. I look at this guy. He's very impressive, a very high level fighter, just like you. Are there any similarities in your game plans, like when you look at this guy? And where do you see the biggest differences between the two of you, like as far as skill or technique or style?
I think he's very talented, very skilled. I forgot how old he is. I think he's a little older than me, but I think he's very skilled. I don't think he's fought the best competition because he hasn't really fought out of his state too much. I think I fought the tougher guys, and I think the one tough guy he did fight was his only loss, which is crazy because I remember like when at the beginning of my amateur career, looking at rankings and seeing this kid and seeing his name, and here I am like 2 years later about to fight him. But I think he's very well-rounded. He doesn't seem to be a specialist at anything. He seems to be good at everything. But I just think which we're similar in that aspect. But I think he's good at everything. I just think I'm better at everything. I think he's a good striker. I think I'm a better striker. I think he's a good wrestler. I think I'm a better wrestler, basically all around.
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to tee it up for you and give you an opportunity. I know you have a lot of people that are looking forward to this fight, a lot of people that are going to be buying the pay-per-view, tuning in to watch you perform. For all your supporters, for everybody who's going to be tuning in to watch the fight here on the 3rd, what can they expect when they watch you fight Perez here in a little bit?
Expect my best performance yet. Expect to not be let down, and just keep your eyes peeled because we're both flyweight. We're both gonna be quick, and I'm gonna be composed. I'm gonna be sharp. I'm not gonna rush it, and just don't blink, and don't for all Luis's people. I hate to tell you, but you're buying a ticket to see me lose, but that's not what's gonna happen. I'm the king of ruining parties, so I don't plan on this one being any different. But all respect to him.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the man himself. And Bryce, I'm going to give you an opportunity. If there's anyone out there that you want to thank or anything that you want to shout out before I let you go, let's do it.
Yeah, shout out my gym. Obviously, they take so much care of me. The energy here is amazing. Just so many good people, good team in all aspects in every part of the gym. My head coach Dustin, we've really been dialing down and focusing on my game. My manager Steve Swedish, he's a blessing, man. He's always putting me in the best position to just do what I do best, and I can't thank him enough for that. Shout out to all my family. Shout out to my beautiful girlfriend. She's a big part of the team too. The cook meals when I go home, all that good stuff. She makes life a lot easier on me. And shout out to God most of all. That's where I put my faith. That's what gives me strength to wake up every day and do what I love. So, yes, sir. That's it.
Well, Bryce, I appreciate your time this evening. I wish you the best of skill, and I look forward to having you back on the program really soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.